Chriselle is back in the studio.
Woohoo!
A lot has changed, transpired, evolved.
Wow.
A lot.
A lot.
I'm a whole new person at this point. I am no longer the same Chris. I should just change my name at this point.
No. We love you as Chriselle. But what I think is so cool about you is that you've showed your evolution and your journey online since you were on the show and before you were on the show. But we've gotten to see this all and watch you and sort of like cheerlead for you. So I wanted you to come back on the show because I wanted to fill the gap of when you were on here last time to now.
By the way, the date is July of 2019 and it was episode 200 and this will be like 900 something. So it's been like 700 episodes ago.
Wow.
So you got to dig into the archive.
This was pre-COVID.
Yeah,
This is pre-COVID.
Yeah,
So
July 2019. Yep.
And that was when you guys just had your baby, no?
We had the baby in 2020 of January. So, she was pregnant. She was pregnant then.
Oh my gosh, we have a lot to catch up on.
We have a lot to catch up on. And I remember you gave me one of the best tips. You told me on the show, you said, Lauren, you never will say that you're busy again after you have children because you have to be so productive. I'm flubbing what you said, but you have to be so productive in the moments and the spaces that you get that it's almost like you're more efficient.
And do you find that true now?
I think about you saying that all the time.
Oh, thank you. That just made me so happy because it's true. Like once you become a mom, you are able to master productivity at its finest and do so much with time. And you're like, wait, I was not even busy before.
It's wild.
Yeah.
I'll never complain about that again. Like, ever.
You
Like
can't understand it until you go through. And now we have 3 kids under 6.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
And so
I missed the third one.
I know.
Yeah, that's just,
You
she's
know,
like 4
does
months
everyone say
postpartum.
that about the third one?
I'm
think so.
sorry, the third one, but I thought you guys were 2.
No, now it's 3.
You
Okay.
can't keep track after
Well, let me
a certain
count. And
amount.
I got to remember. No, I'm just kidding. But I think what's weird is now we've been so in it and you've gone through it. You just don't realize like how crazy it really is.
Yeah.
I was a little late today because they're 3 in a hotel right now with 2 small dogs losing their shit because I had to come over here, right?
Wait, so they travel with you guys all
When
the
we
time?
go for a while, because if it's a few days, we'll leave them. But if it's for a while, they're so young.
And I guess at this age you can do that because they're not in like school yet, are they?
Oh, the school's going to kick us out for sure.
The school's going to kick us out. We have a really incredible nanny that's like, she's like a teacher. She is a teacher. And so that helps make things a little more seamless.
Yeah, we hired a woman, she's amazing, that was a teacher at one of our kids' schools.
I love that.
It's
you guys are really busy when you're traveling because you have the whole family.
It's a caravan.
Because sometimes when I'm traveling, as much as I love the kids, I'm like, this is my time off. It's great.
I know. I like when you say that. I've seen you say that before.
Yeah.
Like I've seen you. I think I saw your Substack where you were just like, I just need some space sometimes.
Yeah. And that is traveling. And as much as it's work, it's also me time as well, because that's the time that I get to be on a plane and no one's asking for anything. And I get so much done. I get to read. I get to do the things that I enjoy. So I feel very well balanced, even though I did not believe in balance before. I kind of do now.
Let's go back to then to now. Let's fill the gap for the audience. So after you did this show, what was the sort of life moment that came after that? What was the first one? Because you've gone through a few.
Yeah. I mean, if someone told me that this would be my life today after 5-6 years ago, I would have been like, you are crazy. I can't even imagine that. But one, I got a divorce. I think that was like the biggest thing that happened during COVID, but officially on paper in 2021. And I started a new company. I actually acquired a company and then recently sold it. So that's PHLUR, my fragrance brand. Thank you. And I think I might have been pregnant with my second with you guys when I saw you guys last, but I have 2 kids now and I'm engaged.
And congratulations.
Not with the same
again.
person, but with a different person.
When you decided to get a divorce, is this after the podcast? How long after the podcast is this?
Well, as you guys know, and I'm sure, at our age group, a number of people that have gotten divorced. It's usually not over one thing. It's not over like one moment in time. It was something that I was struggling with for a while, but I think it was during COVID when And I think this was a realization for a lot of people, both men and women, that this is not the life I want to live. It's not how I want to live for the rest of my life. And so I think it really took COVID to have me kind of go inside and just sit with myself and realize that I needed to make this decision. So it was during COVID.
When you're so busy and you have so much going on and it's go, 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 and then the world stops and it's COVID, do you think that propelled the divorce to happen quicker because you were able to sort of like sit still? Because I know with me, I'm like, go, 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 go. And sometimes if I don't sit, I can't think.
Yeah, no, and that's so many of us, especially just entrepreneurs, women that are on the go. We don't have that moment to really reflect and see how we feel about something. And even if you know how it feels, you just kind of like bury it under the rug because you're like, I just don't have time to deal with this right now, because if I deal with this, then it's going to unlock like 10 other things that I have to deal with. So it's just not worth it. And so that was my life for really the last, before this happened, but before my divorce, like 10 years, like everything was just like, let's put this under the rug and like figure it out later. Right. But during COVID, we had that time. We all had that silent moment to be like, wait, no, like I have to deal with my shit now.
What kind of pressure is it like to be in the public eye and decide to get a divorce? How do you guys find it was navigating that?
You guys work together a little bit too, right? Or
not really.
No? Okay.
Not to like your guys' extent, but he would support me, be supportive, not support me, but supportive. And he would appear on some of my videos. And by the way, we're friends now. So it was a work in progress, but 4 years later, we're great friends and we co-parent really well together. And kind of going back to your question, it was difficult because, as you guys know, you have 3 kids. When you first showed and we were kind of the first generations, like influencer wise, to have kids. And so I didn't know what would happen, like that these people that were following me would be so attached to my kids as well and their story and their life. And so we were just casually posting about the kids a lot, they're doing this, they're doing that. And then when I went through the divorce, I was like, you know what? I just don't want to show my kids that much anymore. And I just feel like there's some things that I wanted to keep for myself. And that was hard because the followers didn't really, some of them understood, but a lot of them were like, well, you kind of led us on up to this point in your life and we supported you, and all of a sudden you're not going to show us your kid's face. Like, that's kind of weird. It's almost like following a movie and all of a sudden it stops and there's no ending. They don't get to really see that end. So I'm much better about it now. It's not like I don't show my kids at all, but I'm a lot more careful. And, if it's something and they're older now, so it's something that they have to want to do as well. So.
I feel the same way that you feel about kids on the internet. Like, you're not going to see my kids' first steps. You're not going to see them. Some people like show the potty training. Like, you're not going to see like the milestone moments.
Yeah.
Like you'll see, like I say, like in a play, they're the choir, they're the chorus.
Yeah.
Like it's like a background character that you'll see sometimes, but they don't get access to the intimacy of every little moment throughout the day. And what I would say to you is like you said, we didn't know.
No.
We there was no like blueprint before us to know if we should or shouldn't share the kids. So it is something that you have to like kind of figure out for yourself. I don't know if the way I'm doing it is the right way.
Yeah. I also think and how old's your oldest now?
She's 10, almost 11.
Yeah, I think as they get older too, like she's going to have a perspective pretty soon.
Yeah.
As she goes into older grades in school about like what she wants to share and not share,
Yeah.
And,
I have 2 step kids now.
Mm-hmm.
They're 13 and 16. And it's a whole different ball. And they're so lovely and they're amazing. I feel very lucky I call them bonus kids. But now I have to ask them, and sometimes they're like, can you not post it? I'm like, yeah, cool. Like, I won't post it. But they definitely have an opinion. I want to respect that. And I love that, actually. But yeah, in the beginning, with my first child, with Chloe, I showed everything. And now in hindsight, looking back, I'm like, man, like, and not that I regret anything, because I learned along the way and we're all learning along the way. but I really had no boundaries back then. And now in hindsight, I'm like, okay, like we're gonna do it right this time. So
I think that's self-aware, and I think it's cool of you to talk about. And I think if there's someone listening who's just starting out as an influencer, it makes you really have intention behind how you decide to share the children.
I think
It's not easy.
This business is
not.
tough because we know there's certain things you can do and certain kind of things you can show from an intimate perspective, like even with relationships or with kids, that will unlock greater opportunities.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the draw for a lot of people, especially when you're new to the space. But
you mean like partnerships and like?
Well, I also just think like, I know if Lauren and I were skipping down the beach and hugging and kissing all the time, you could unlock that like cheesy part of the internet. That's like, oh, I love that. I kill me, you know what I mean? Like cannot do that. But I know from a business perspective, it would be good, right? And you see people doing that, like love bombing each other. By the way, that's a little bit of a red flag with couples. But and I think they do it with the kids too, where like there's certain things you can do with your children in this business that will unlock opportunities. I think that's the draw.
Yeah.
But then when you play it through, it's maybe not the best reason.
I also think, and I don't know if you've experienced this, I want to have thoughtfulness around how much I'm pulling out my phone, filming and videoing them, even if it's not on social media.
I actually heard you talk about this. I forgot where. I think it was one of your podcasts, and I really like how you phrase that. It's like, I don't want to be known as a mom that's always like having to capture every single moment. And truth be told, I was that mom. And I'm like, I don't want to live like, because my girls are 10 and one is 7 now. Really, I only have maybe 3 more years with my oldest one before she's always out with her friends. And my youngest one, I have maybe a good 6-7 years. And I don't want the latter half of like they're going into teen years, being the mom, being like taking photos of them of everything. So that really resonated with me when you said that.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm not perfect. I'm trying, but I just think finding the moments where you can be really present and I even like don't even like my phone on the table down. Like I want the phone to be away. Like I'm talking like hidden, like it's not on the table. It's not I don't want it to feel like a fixture.
Yeah.
And this has been, you struggle because we both work on our phone, and it's like someone always needs something.
But we just had Jonathan Haidt on the podcast. You know him? He wrote the book, The Anxious Generation.
Oh yes, I just read that.
It's good book, and he was a great guest. But we're almost the second generation. Like there's the generation of parents that had kids before us that I guess are now Gen Z, and they had no boundaries or understanding,
and they just gave them everything.
Yeah, and because they didn't know. And I think about like for us, we didn't really know what to share or not share with our kids. Like the first generation just gave their kids phones. They weren't really sharing anything, but the kids had access to all the phones. Our generation kind of put our kids without their consent more on because we didn't know. And now I think people are starting to realize like what the tools can do and what some of the vulnerabilities and risks are.
Yeah.
But like, people forget like we all grew up with like dial-up internet.
Yeah.
Right. Like we didn't know that.
That's where my career started. I was that girl, like once we got dial-up internet, I closed my door and I was on like these weird like group chats with like weird people, don't know, but I love.
Yeah, I think you were one of the first people I followed. I feel like you're like OG.
Yeah,
like,
I'm pretty old.
Not old, original.
No, you know,
thank you.
Yeah.
I like
and
that.
by the way, skin is looking amazing. You look like you're 21. But you were like, you started before a lot of people started.
You come from the generation where there was that period of time on the internet that you would name 10 or 20 creators, and it was like 10 or 20 creators, right? Like, and they were now, even doing this, I get introduced to people all the time that are massive, and I have no clue who they are.
There's so many.
And you can't. But back then, there was like you know who the girls were, right?
Yeah.
It was like a lot of the people that we all came up with, but you could like name them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now you're like, you can't keep track.
Can't keep
But
up.
what I love about you, and we're going to get into this, is that through that you've managed to stand out and have a point of view that's really a point of view of the generation, and I think that's really cool. You've managed to evolve. But before we get to that, I want to know how you and your ex-husband thought about announcing, or however you did it, your divorce to the internet. What?
Were you making an announcement?
No, how they, I'm sure there was some kind of announcement.
Yeah.
How do you guys even think about that?
Yeah. So it took a while. And, as I was going through this process, I didn't tell anyone. I think people noticed that there was a vibe shift, because I wasn't posting my usual content. And I think it was probably a year into it, and it wasn't settled yet. And for anyone that's looking to get a divorce or going into a divorce, it's a long haul game. It's not like immediate. So I think it was a year into the process. We're like, okay, people are sensing some things off. I'm not wearing my ring. You're not in my content. There's just like so much like question marks. And I asked like, would you be okay us making an announcement? And so he agreed. And it was, I don't think you could do a collab post back then. I wish we had a collab post moment. That would have been effective. But it was just a post on both of our sides. So we posted the same thing. And it was just an announcement that we were separating. And we both decided to turn off the comments because I know there were going to be more people praising and supporting just because they want to be supported. But I also knew that there were going to be some negative comments and question marks around the divorce. And I think I always think about the kids now, right? I think about in the next 10 years, they're going to get access to anything and everything, right? So how do we do this in a way where they're protected and also that it's just like this has been done, let's move on type of thing.
And so when you put it out there, was it like liberating for you? Did you feel liberated or did you feel upset? Like what was your emotion when you put that out?
Well, they always say, especially women, after they actually make the divorce announcement or the actual moment to get divorced, they were already divorced years ago in their head. They were just trying to make it work and trying to like get, hopefully like something can happen, someone will change and it can work magically, right? So I think for me, there was no sadness at this point because I was sad for a very long time. So it was very liberating at that moment. I was like, okay, I could finally tell my story and I could finally be me. And there's something about when you're finally in your truest self, in the truest form, you're able to unlock your best potential. And that is when PHLUR came about. And that is when PHLUR showed up, literally at my doorstep. I wasn't looking for PHLUR, but there was an opportunity for me to come onto the brand because it was an existing brand that wasn't doing that well. And for me to pretty much give it new life. And I said, look, both PHLUR and I are going into our next chapter, right? We're going into the next version of ourselves. What if I'm able to tell these emotional stories of the things that I've been bottling up for so long inside of me into these bottles of PHLUR? And yeah, I kind of went on a tangent, but I think it really was a moment of freedom for me. And once I felt that, so many things started working my way, the way I wanted it, and things that I would have never even dreamt of happening. So
what advice do you have for someone who's in a marriage that feels like they're not happy?
I think it has to be more than a feeling. I think it can't be just like, oh, I feel unhappy, right? We all feel unhappy and you can't let your emotions guide your everyday because emotions change every single day, but it's something that you deeply have to know. And I have so many girls now, especially my followers, that either come up to me in person when they see me or they're DMing me about like, oh, I'm so unhappy, I'm da-da-da. And my question is, are you ready to walk away? Like, are you ready to do something about it? And they're like, well, I don't know. Then, and I'm like, that's the answer right there. If you don't know, you're not ready yet. You have to know. Like deep down inside, you have to know this is the thing I need to do for myself. And when you have that burning desire, you find a way to do it.
I bet that was nice for you when you finally made that decision. It sounds like it was like relief.
It was relief.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
It was incredible. And I think, again, because I know there's so many, especially women of our age that are going through this, at least in my kind of orbit, there's a lot of women that are going through it. And I always tell them, like, I know it's hard right now, but I promise you have not even felt the amount of happiness that you have ever experienced in your life yet. And you have to get to the other side to experience that. And so, I don't know. One of the best compliments anyone could give me is like, your story inspired me to become the best version or the happiest version of myself. And, whether it's walking away from a job that didn't serve them or a marriage or whatever that is. So
after you went through everything with your divorce, what was the first moment that you remember feeling peace?
This is funny because I remember this moment. I was walking outside And I was just walking the girls to the park and I felt wind on my hair. I know that sounds so corny and weird.
No.
But I noticed the wind blowing my hair. And I was like, I felt the wind. That means I noticed these feelings and these moments that have always happened that I've never noticed in my life. And I was like, I'm living present right now. I'm in my present. I'm exactly where I need to be. And so there was no like real extraordinary moment, but it was like that one quiet moment where I was like, okay, like this feels really nice.
Well, I think when you're in fight or flight, your nervous system like shuts down so you don't get to feel those present moments.
Yeah, it's true. And I think the true luxury, I believe now, is to have a calm nervous system, right? I don't know about you guys, but that's how I feel.
So true. That is the true luxury.
There's a whole episode that went out literally today all about calm nervous. We did a whole nervous system thing.
Okay.
It is a luxury. You're right.
It is, because I think as we get older, we just build on top of all of our past traumas, all of our triggers, and it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse until you're able to like really get in control of it. And then once you're there and you're like calm and you're able to just not have your past dictate how you are going to currently feel or for your future, you're like, this is the luxury. This is what life is meant to be. So, yeah.
The luxury is the calm nervous system. You hear that, Michael?
I do.
That is quiet luxury, bitch.
Quiet luxury. I love that.
My nervous system can malfunction at times.
Yeah.
Being an entrepreneur, that's really hard, right?
It's just, we were interviewing a guy recently and Lauren was trying to give me shit and she was like, Michael's always like stressed and saber-tooth tiger and the entrepreneur.
Hold on, you have to explain saber-tooth tiger. I say that Michael is constantly looking for the saber-tooth tiger.
Like the thing in the bushes that's about to jump out and
like
get me,
say like we're all sitting here, like he's looking like is that camera beeping? Like he's looking for the saber-tooth.
Here's the thing. Then I realized this, and maybe you might or you might not relate to this. And we were talking about this in the car, right on the way home from the airport. Ariel was there. And the guy that we were talking to was like, I fucking love the stress. And when he said it, I was like, you know what? I do too. And I realized that I like it more than not having it, and I never want to get rid of it.
Okay.
Because when I'm calm, I don't know what it is. I like the pressure, and I like the idea of like.
But that is awareness, right? And that is you just saying that I know this about myself, and so I like this stress. And it's equally for someone who's like, I don't like the stress. I want to have a calm nervous system. I think on both sides, it doesn't matter on which side you are on, but it's just the awareness.
When the business is going well, and this is funny enough, when the business is going well and everything's good and you can like take that vacation, go sit on the beach, I can't stand that moment.
I will literally be on the beach with like my skinny margarita, like finally ready to relax.
I mean, I don't like it in the moment, but when someone's like, listen, we got a real problem and shit just blew up.
He like literally
loves it. Let's go.
I'm like, but
Chriselle's right. If you have a self-awareness, for me, that's not
but I'll tell you
my
what,
vibe.
But I'll tell you this though. But if my wife is sick or my kids get hurt, I go to shambles. I can't handle it. Like my daughter got hurt the other day, and
so that's what you're saying.
And like that kind of stress, but that kind of stress and that kind of thing, like I'm not good. And she's like, you got to learn how to handle that, because I think
my daughter gets a paper cut. I swear to God, this is it. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? I'm like, Michael, it's a paper cut. What if it gets sepsis? What if it gets infected? I'm like, I literally will be like, stop, get away from me. You're projecting your energy onto me. I have to deal with my daughter who is sick, not you. He wants me to deal and take emotional residency.
But tell me if you relate to this. I think most entrepreneurs I meet, it's like, yeah, you like you want to strive for success, but I think the reason you're an entrepreneur is because you kind of thrive in that chaos and pressure, right?
Yeah.
And thrive in the unknown of figuring the thing out, right?
Yeah.
It's like my worst idea is like if somebody said, hey, you're going to have absolute certainty and predictability and you're going to earn exactly this and everything will be fine and you can do that. Like, that stresses me out. I like to be like, what the hell is going to happen?
Yeah, thrive in chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think to be an entrepreneur, you have to have that skill and ability. And I think women naturally have that. We don't like to be in it 24/7, but yeah, to thrive as an entrepreneur, you have to be a really good problem solver, because being an entrepreneur is just solving multiple problems all day long, right? On top of being creative, on top of inspiring other people and your team and all of that. But ultimately, it's down to how well and how fast can you solve these problems. So I understand, like, that's a part of who you are, and that's why you're so successful and you're great at what you do.
Except with paper cuts.
Except
No, but
for paper cuts.
I think like, the more in the early days, you like kind of try to fight it because people will be like, why do you want to live like that? And then as I realized, I'm like, no, I like this. I like I like that thing.
And that's your self-awareness
I had
superpower.
a question for you. You've had so much success in your career and you were very early. And I think a lot of women and men look to you and people like you as the blueprint, right? Like a lot of people, when we all started, like the term was blogger, right?
Mm-hmm.
The creator didn't even, it was like, didn't even exist. Now that it was influencer, now it's a creator. Now I don't know what they're calling it these days.
Yeah, I can't keep
But
up.
really, it's I just look at it as like you're an entrepreneur, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like and now looking back after all these years, what are the like kind of things that you feel you just nailed from the beginning, and what are the things that you look back like, oh, if I was starting over as a new entrepreneur, creator, whatever, you would have done differently?
I think the thing that I nailed and I continue to nail that gets me excited still every day is just evolving with whatever is coming up. I think a lot of creators, what I've noticed, they get so stuck on that one platform, or they get so stuck on one way of doing things. I'm not a fragile bitch. Like, I can take shit and I could be like, oh, that thing that we worked on for 3 years doesn't work anymore. Okay, that's fine. Let's move on. I don't hold things so heavily on my shoulders. It's as long as I know that I tried my best with whatever project I'm working on or whatever platform, I'm happy to let go and move on to the next. And so I think that has always been my superpower of like not being so fragile, of, doing things so perfectly and carefully and making sure that it hits every single time. And that's how TikTok took off for me during COVID was, of course, everyone's on TikTok now, but it was pre-COVID. I think it was like early 2020 when I got on the app and I was like, this looks fun. Let's give it a try. And I was doing these silly kind of things on TikTok and it just worked. And it was during COVID. I became rich mom during COVID, which was kind of wild because this was a whole new generation who had no idea who I was, which I loved because I felt like I could be a totally different persona. So I became rich mom on TikTok during COVID. Rich mom gave my TikTok kids advice on how to be cleanly, how to make money, how to dress appropriately. It was like giving life lessons to my kids. And that's how I built my TikTok. She unfortunately does not exist anymore. I tried to bring her back and it just didn't work for the current time. But it was fun. And I was like, this is an opportunity right now. People are loving it. They're wanting entertainment. I'm going full force rich mom. So I think I was uploading, I don't know, anywhere from 5 to 10 videos a day for a year as rich mom. It was insanity. But we were all locked up, right? In our home. We weren't. Yeah.
How does that work?
I don't know. I was having fun, girl. Like, it was fun to me. And people were having fun with me. And I saw clearly that there was a momentum here. So I just went full force with it.
What was the first one that went viral?
Oh, okay. It was when I was in Paris. It was right before, it was actually the last Paris Fashion Week before, okay. Taking it back. Do you guys remember that movie Parasite?
Yeah,
that
was a good movie.
Yeah. So it was a Korean rich mom. Everyone thought I was her. So it launched that week. I happened to be on TikTok. They're like, oh my God, it's Rich Mom. And I was like, who's Rich Mom? And I watched the movie. And then so I kind of started impersonating her a little bit. And it was really fun. And I was in Paris for Paris Fashion Week. So I made a video where I was like, hi kids, it's me, your rich mom. Something about like, if you're going to buy designer bags, like buy it in Europe or at the airport because you could save money on, like the taxes.
You better get some tips from Rich Mom, Michael Bostic.
Something like that. I don't remember exactly what I was talking about, but it was in Paris. It was Rich Mom in Paris. And that thing just blew up and I just had fun with it. Yeah.
And so when did you decide to stop, and why did you decide to try, and then why did you decide to stop again?
Well, Rich Mom also was during a very hard time for me. It was when I was going through my divorce. So I kind of viewed it as my distraction. And I know this is not the healthiest way to cope, but when I go through something, I kind of get addicted to something. Thankfully, it's not like substance or alcohol or anything like that, but it's usually something. And for me, it was TikTok. And I just went all out with it. And it was like kind of a way for me to escape while I was going through that really hard time. And so I stopped when I think the divorce and the emotional piece of it was getting a little too much for me to handle. And I just couldn't, because it was acting essentially. I was acting like this fabulous rich mom, and I just couldn't even get out of bed. I was at a point where I was like, man, like I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. And so that's when I decided to take a break from Rich Mom. And yeah, she never really came back after then.
I am so proud that I have finally removed the clip-in extensions and have 100% real hair. I mean, really, like, let's take a picture. I'm excited about it. I don't have hair thinning anymore. And that is because of all the organ meat that I eat. I eat organs like 3 times a week. I also eat organ sticks. I eat a lot of meat, a lot of aminos from the meat. I do scalp massage. I do microneedling on my scalp, and I also supplement. And the supplement that I use, yes, you know, is Nutrafol. Why? Because it's a proactive approach. It targets the root cause. I do 4 pills a day. I think this really, really helps if you're looking for less shedding. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand. It's trusted by over 1.5 million people, including me. You can feel great about what you're putting in your body since Nutrafol hair growth supplements are backed by peer-reviewed studies and NSF Contents Certified, the gold standard in third-party certification for supplements. I'm a fan of this brand because it's physician formulated, clinically tested, and dermatologists recommend it. I've also tried it, and it works. See thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding in 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter promo code SkinnyHair. Find out why Nutrafol is the best-selling hair growth supplement brand at Nutrafol.com. Spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code SkinnyHair. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code SkinnyHair.
All right, everybody, listen up. Big news. Branch Basics, one of our all-time favorite cleaning brands, is now available at over 600 Target stores nationwide and Target.com. We absolutely love Branch Basics. We insist everyone that's in our life that we love also use Branch Basics. Ever since we switched out all those harmful chemical cleaning ingredients in our household to Branch Basics, we have been on a high because we no longer have to worry about having hormone disruptors, artificial fragrances, and chemicals in the house. Not only do we not have to worry about it for ourselves as adults, we don't have to worry about our pets smelling it, our children. And here's the thing, Branch Basics does the exact same thing that most chemical cleaning supplies do. It's all multi-purpose cleaning that's made with plant and mineral-based ingredients, no harsh preservatives, no endocrine disruptors, and definitely no fragrance. So you can clean without worrying about what you're bringing into the home. Lauren and I have done multiple episodes with Allison, the founder of Branch Basics, on this podcast. And the moment we had her on, we were sold. We switched everything in our household and haven't looked back. From countertops to bathrooms, even tough stains, Branch Basics all-purpose cleaner, bathroom cleaner, and their new stain removal tackle it all. Plus, they're gentle on sensitive skin and safe for babies and pets. So if you're tired of toxic chemicals lingering in your home, it's time to make the switch. You can grab Branch Basics products now at Target. Find their concentrate, all-purpose cleaner, bathroom cleaner, and stain remover right on the shelves. Trust me, your home and your health will thank you. Shop Branch Basics in 600 plus Target stores nationwide or Target.com. You can also use our code SKINNY15 to get 15% off at branchbasics.com/skinny15. Again, skinny15 for 15% off at branchbasics.com/skinny15. Quick break to talk about Fatty 15. I'm so excited to share with you guys an incredible scientific breakthrough to support our long-term health and wellness. C15 is the first essential fatty acid to be discovered in 90 years. And get this, studies have confirmed that it's 3 times better, broader, and safer than omega-3s. If you want to get sciencey about it, studies show that C15 works by strengthening our cells, improving our mitochondrial function, and protecting us against damaging free radicals. The result, better long-term metabolic, liver, and heart health. And it ends up that many of us are deficient in C15, which results in weaker cells that make less energy and quit working earlier than they should. All of that makes us age faster, sleep poorly, feel sluggish. If this sounds familiar, you might be deficient in C15. Ever since Lauren and I had Dr. Stephanie Van Watson, the founder of Fatty 15, on this podcast, we were sold on Fatty 15 and C15. That is because it is such an incredible product. It does so much for inflammation. It does so much for health. And it's only one single ingredient, which is C15. Fatty 15 is a science-backed, award-winning, vegan-friendly, and pure C15 supplement. By replenishing our cells with that essential C15 nutrient, Fatty 15 effectively repairs our cells and restores our long-term health. Here's how C15 works. It works in multiple ways. It repairs age-related damage to cells, protects them from future breakdown, boosts mitochondrial energy output, and activates pathways in the body that help regulate our sleep, mood, and natural repair mechanisms that support our overall health. Fatty 15 is on a mission to replenish your C15 levels and restore your long-term health. You can get an additional 15% off their 90-day subscription starter kit by going to fatty15.com/skinny and using code SKINNY at checkout. Quick break to talk about Bond Charge. It is no secret that Lauren and I are very into health and wellness. We are also into the tech side of health and wellness, which is why I'm so excited to talk about Bond Charge. Bond Charge is a holistic wellness brand with a huge range of evidence-based products to optimize your life in every way. Founded on science and inspired by nature, all Bond Charge products adopt ancestral ways of living in our modern day world. Their extensive range of premium wellness products help you sleep better, perform better, have more energy, recover faster, balance hormones, reduce inflammation. The list is endless. From blue light glasses and infrared saunas to red light therapy to EMF management and circadian friendly lighting, Bond Charge products help you naturally address the issues of our modern day way of life, effortlessly and with maximum impact. We talk about red light all the time on this podcast. Some of the benefits are if you want to combat wrinkles and fine lines, if you have a sore jaw, if you have eczema, if you get migraines like I do, acne, if you have scar tissue, if you want to do wound healing, relaxation, razor burns, red light therapy can be perfect for this. And red light therapy has been reviewed in over 4,000 peer-reviewed studies with 400 plus being double-blind placebo trials. I use red light therapy to wind down at night. It's a moment for me to meditate. I also am battling fine lines and wrinkles. Guys, don't look at my forehead. And 10 to 20 minutes each day, nice and easy to use. I use it while watching TV. You can use it while cooking. You can use it while putting the kids to bed, reading, whatever you want. I do it all. So check them out. Bond Charge ships worldwide in rapid time. All you have to do is go to bondcharge.com and use coupon code SKINNY to save 15% off. That's BONCHARGE.com and use coupon code SKINNY to save 15%.
How do you manage to get all this content up day to day when you feel like you can't get out of bed?
It's again, it's not a healthy coping mechanism, but I think it distracts me. It distracts me from what I actually had to deal with. And so when I actually had to deal with it, that's when I kind of stopped.
What are some behind the scenes that the audience wasn't seeing? You mentioned not getting out of bed, but what are some other things that you couldn't really maybe post or they wouldn't have understood at the time or you wanted to keep to yourself?
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of moments of me like on the floor crying of like, why me? Like, why am I going through this? What did I do to deserve this kind of heartbreak in life? And like my mom picking me up off the floor. My parents moved down. I grew up in the Bay Area, in a small town called Danville up north. And they actually moved down temporarily to help me just while I was going through that period. It was hard for me to obviously even tend to my kids and be that super mom for them. So they were really there to help me and my kids during that time. But they eventually moved down because they, one, I think, love being with their grandkids, but also two, I'm like their oldest daughter. And it's like heartbreaking to see their oldest daughter in such shambles. And so they ended up selling their house and moving in with me. So I was living with my parents for, I think, almost 2.5 years as a grown-ass woman. Huh. But I also loved it because when could I ever say that I live with my parents again after graduating college, after having my own life, my own career? And so those are the moments that you probably didn't see online, but it was like late nights with my mom. Like we would just be just at the table crying and being like, I don't know where life is taking us now, but let's just hope that you're happy again. And she would be like feeding me Korean food She'd be homemaking like all of her soups, and yeah, she brought me back to life. So.
It's sometimes weird, I think, as a creator when you have millions and millions of followers and you're sitting here saying that you just felt like you felt lonely and you felt sad. I think that that's hard for some people to understand. Do you know what I mean? Because you have so many people who adore you and love you, but at the same time, you just felt down.
Yeah. I mean, I think people often, and I'm sure you guys, get this a lot too, given that you have such a big platform. But I think people at the end, they forget that sometimes, whether it's an influencer, celebrity, public figure, we're all human. We all have emotions. We all have our own insecurities and anxieties. We don't display them all the time, or most of the time we don't display them at all. But I think they kind of put us to that expectation that life is perfect because maybe we put out what our content looks like it's perfect. So what I've changed in my content now is that I just talk and I show things that are really happening in my life. Not obviously anything that's too private, but just like the thoughts that are going in my head, because if I'm feeling it, someone else is feeling it out there. And I think, not that I'm trying to be relatable, but I think women are more relatable to each other than not, no matter where we're at in the world, or we have a lot of the same thoughts and feelings. So I try to show that a little bit more now on my
doing this show for as long as we've done it. You meet so many different people, right? And of different platform and different size and different success. And like the one like common through thread is like at the end of the day, maybe we're a little jaded by this now. It's like people are just people, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I think sometimes when you're watching or following people online or that have like some prominence in terms of like the platform or whatever, you forget sometimes that like it's just kind of like a person and that's just happens to be their profession and happen to have a little bit more attention from a visibility standpoint, but they have the same insecurities, the same vulnerabilities, same family issues, same kind of like they behave the same in person. Some of and I won't say names, but some of the people you would think would be the most confident and most secure that have come like are sometimes the most insecure because they're also having to live up to that kind of pressure of like holding that kind of platform and behaving in that kind of way, right? So it's just interesting. You just doing it for like close to a decade now. You just realize like people are just people.
Yeah, I believe that, and I was at a dinner yesterday. Do you guys know Emma? Emma Greed? Yeah. So she hosted a dinner, and I think it was pretty small, but it was about like 30 entrepreneurs and just people within their field that are like just really crushing it. And everyone knows these people. They're like Meghan Markle was there. There's so many incredible people that are successful within their own right, and everyone got up to share the stories. And the common thread was, "I'm so nervous to be speaking in front of all of you guys, and I'm so insecure. Like I wish I could have more confidence like you." But we're saying that to each other. And so I think when we realize that we're just all human, like we all are just figuring it out and we're just learning about ourselves. You're able to have a deeper, I think, empathy for just human in general and people in general, and just have a better understanding of, like no one's perfect.
Except for Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is perfect.
Yeah, you think so?
Unicorn. Couldn't be better. I have this debate with people all the time.
You would leave me for Tom Cruise.
You're like a mini Tom Cruise.
I've talked.
Chriselle, now he's gonna go home.
I'll take it. I've talked to everyone that I can talk to that's had any kind of connectivity to Tom Cruise. People that have worked with them in big movies. People that are people that when you think. Actually, I could share this because he posted it. I was on a boat with Jamie Foxx. Weird story. I'm not going to get into it. And I told him. I said, "Hey, you worked with Tom Cruise in Collateral." And I go, and you've worked with a lot of people. I go, "Is there anyone bigger, or is he the white whale?" He's like, "He's top. He's the top. There's no higher peak, no deeper valley. It's Tom Cruise."
And so that confirmed.
It confirmed.
It confirmed your.
I think that's the only one that's a superhuman.
I think that you see yourself in Tom Cruise, and
Name a better body of work, a wider, longer career.
Brad Pitt.
No. Okay, if Brad Pitt, if he showed up, if you saw Brad Pitt, like that's Brad Pitt, that's cool, but you don't see Tom Cruise out in the wild. Think
I
about
hate
it.
to move on from Tom
No,
Cruise.
think about it. Think
but
about it.
I'm going to.
You saw like if you see one of these guys, you're like, okay, like that's cool sighting, but you don't see him out in the wild, and he can go international anywhere, and it would be insane.
I
Pandemonium.
think you need a career change to become Tom Cruise's like publicist
If
or
I
something.
get Tom Cruise on this show, the next day I'm shutting the
Okay,
whole
Tom
company down.
Cruise, please.
I'll shut every show down on Dear Media. I'll shut the company down. The show will be over. I'll say we've reached the top.
Done.
It's
You're done.
That's Mission Impossible.
Oh.
Okay.
But eight Mission Impossibles later, over like what, 3
I
decades,
can't talk about
Taylor?
it anymore.
I love Tom Cruise.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Guys, that guy, like, I won't take
Okay.
up all the airtime.
What, when you're single and you're feeling ready to mingle, does it take to date Chriselle? Like, where do you even start with what you want in a guy?
Well, I wasn't even looking to date. Like I was like, I could not date for the rest of my life. That was in my head. I was
get
like,
that. I get that. It's tired. It's like you're tired.
yeah, it's fine. Like, I don't want to date. And so I was in that mindset. Like, truly, I was not trying to meet a guy. I was absolutely not trying to download the apps. And because I was so happy in my own energy with my own girlfriend, I was truly just living for me for the first time. I just wanted to have fun. Like, that's all I wanted at the time. And because I started my career at a young age, I had kids at a young age, I never got to enjoy the successes, the outcome of my success, being able to have a little bit of money, go fly wherever I wanted, hang out with my friends. I never got to experience that. So for the first time ever, I felt like people were like, how does it feel? And I'm like, it feels like being in college, but having money. It was so fun. And granted, it only lasted a year because then I met Sebastian, who's my fiance now. But I was not looking to date. And I think what I realized was if anyone was going to come into my life, and I still stay true to this, I have everything that I need. I have kids, I have my career, I have money, I have my family, I have my girlfriends. If anyone is going to come into my life at this point, it has to be additive. Like, he has to add something that I don't have right now. And so when I understood that, I was like, I don't know if that exists. And so,
Got to be an asset.
yeah, you got to be an asset.
Yeah, you can't be. You
Like,
can't.
at that point, you're not bringing some guy and stringing him
No,
along
why?
and carrying him up the hill.
If you and I divorce tomorrow, you got to be a huge asset.
I've set the bar so high
And
for
I
you.
mean,
right?
a
Exactly.
huge asset. Huge.
I've set the bar so high for you that it's
No,
gonna
I
be-
just,
yeah.
I'm good. I get what you're saying. You're good in your own energy. It's
No,
like,
if I
take it or leave it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what? How does your fiance at the time approach you to date you? Because you do have it all. That could intimidate some guys.
Yeah. And I think okay, so I'm in fashion. You're in beauty, fashion, kind of all of it. There's not many.
I would.
Or like a
I don't
Tom
think
Cruise
fashion.
fan club type of thing.
I don't.
you know?
I feel like you're. I think you're beauty fashion.
Yeah.
I think I'm beauty wellness more.
Okay, beauty wellness, beauty fashion. It's very rare to meet a straight guy in this industry, right? And all I do is work. It's not like I'm going out to the club. It's not like I'm going out to like meet people. I don't really have a social life outside of like my mom and like my 2 best friends that are married and have kids. So I'm not out there like in places where I'm actually meeting people. And so when I actually first met Sebastian, it was in Paris for Fashion Week. It was the very first Fashion Week after like the world shut down. It was after I made my announcement for my divorce. I was feeling good. I was like, man, like I'm out here, I'm living my life. Like, it's the first time in Paris since the shutdown, and I'm seeing my friends. I see my girlfriend, Jeannie Lee, do you guys remember Satine Boutique in Los Angeles? It was like it was on Melrose.
What was it? Was it a?
It was like a designer boutique. It was like the It Boutique way back in the day. Anyway, she ended up going to work for Selfridges, and her boss, which is Sebastian, my fiance, was with her at the Isabel Marant fashion show because essentially they have to buy collections, right? But in my head, I'm like, okay, like he's a cute guy, but he's probably gay because he's a good looking guy in fashion.
Jeffree Star was here yesterday and he said only 5% of guys are not gay in the whole world.
In the whole world.
In the whole world.
Wow.
So I did question his statistics. I said, where are you pulling that from? And he just said basically the data that he's pulling himself.
From ChatGPT?
From him, no, just from his own life experience.
Own his life. Okay.
So you thought Sebastian was just gay because you're in Paris and like it's fashion and you just assumed.
Yeah. I was just like, I didn't, not because of like how he talked or how he dressed. I mean, I could tell that he's a well-dressed man, but because it's so rare to meet a straight guy in fashion, right? And so my friend was like, oh, Chriselle, this is Sebastian, my boss. Sebastian, this is Chriselle. And it was just like, oh, nice to meet you. And then the next morning, my friend Jeannie was like, hey, we want to come over to get some coffee at your hotel. And I was like, sure. So they came to our hotel, and my hotel in the lobby, we're just having a chit chat. And I had no idea why, but she was clearly trying to set us up. He was also going through his divorce at the time. And so I think she was just like, ooh, like this could be good for both of them. And he was living in London at the time. And for me, I was like, oh, it's not going to happen. Like, this is a mission impossible, right?
I'm telling you, all roads lead back to Tom Cruise. They all do.
All roads lead to Tom Cruise.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, if anything, could just be like, a fun, flirty thing, right? So we just kept in touch. And like a year goes by, the next fashion week comes around, and we see each other again. And that's when I think we realized that we really liked each other. And so that's when we kind of like made the move. But it took us about a year and a half to really feel like, okay, like we could do something about this.
And when did you guys decide to introduce the kids? Because you said he has 2 and you have 2.
It took a while, and that was very intentional for me because, again, as much as I liked Seb, I didn't know if it was going to work out. Our situation was too extreme. So I was like, I'm not going to introduce the kid to someone that might not be here in the next year or two, especially given that he lives in the UK. And so I think it was a year. So for me, it was 2 years after, but a year for me after officially dating him, when I was like, okay, like this feels like this feels right and solid. And so I actually introduced them through the phone at first. They never met. And then I think it was 2 years after they actually met in person. So
were you surprised when he proposed?
Yeah. Like, I mean, not surprised because we talked about it. Because we're both married. And after you've been married, the question is like, do we really need this anymore? So we talked about it a lot. But at that moment, at the place he did it at, which was at the airport, and because that's like where we essentially are always at, it was like, what's going on? Like, what are you doing right now? And he was on his knee. It was like a whole moment. And I was like, I can't believe this is happening here at the airport.
That's creative. He proposed at the airport.
As you get to know Sebastian, he's very unorthodox. Like, he likes to do things the opposite way of how people would typically do things.
Sounds fun.
It's fun. That's what I love about him. Like, you just never know.
That sounds fun.
In your mind, and you mentioned this a little bit off air, you're engaged, but thinking if you get married or not, and you just brought up like after being married and having kids, what are in your kind of calculus, what are the pros and cons or upsides or downsides of getting married or not? And again, like, how do you think about the reasons?
I think I wish I understood marriage before going into my first marriage. And I think this is education that a lot of people just don't know because there's no course you could really take about it. It's just through friends and family members that you learn about as you go. But what I learned is that marriage is essentially a piece of paper, right? And so the question that Sebastian and I have now is and the reason why we decided to get engaged was because we wanted to fully commit our lives to each other. But why can't we do that now? Do we have to do the paperwork? Like, is the paperwork going to lock us in even more? No, it shouldn't. Like, our love should be as is without the paperwork, right? And so the question that we have now is, are we husband and wife just by title because we made that commitment to each other without the paperwork, or do we need the paperwork? I don't know. And so I think we're just much smarter about it and talking about like prenups and all of that. If it does happen, you just learn as you get wiser as you get older.
One thing I do not mess around with, and that is my sheets. Okay. Let me tell you about the sheets that get softer with every wash. The ones that are made with the highest quality 100% organic cotton. They are by a brand called Boll & Branch. They have these sheets, like I said, signature sheets is what they're called. They are like the ideal balance of softness, and they breathe and they make sleeping so nice. I have the mattress of my dreams. I have my silk pillowcase, and I have my 100% organic sheets, and I'm in heaven. I add a couple blankets and throw pillows, and I am good to go. I don't like to mess around with sleep. I am there 8 to 9 hours a night. My dogs sleep with me. Sometimes my kids are in the bed. I take it very, very seriously. If you're looking to stock up on gifts during the holiday sales, this is a really good one for not only a gift, but for yourself. It's important to treat yourself while you're sleeping, which is why you have to check out Boll & Branch sheets. I'm all about the quality, and Boll & Branch does not disappoint. Even after washing, they feel so buttery. Give yourself and your loved ones the most extraordinary feeling sleep with 25% off site-wide, plus free shipping and extended returns during Boll & Branch's best sale of the year. Shop now at bullandbranch.com/skinny with code skinny. That's Boll & Branch, BOLLAND, branch.com/skinny, code skinny for 25% off. Exclusions apply. As a Kendra Scott partner, I'm sharing with you how I make this holiday season special. Guess what I am wearing right now? I am wearing the most delicate, beautiful cross necklace. It's so cute. I have been wearing it for the last 2 weeks. I'm obsessed with it. I want to gift it to everyone in my family. I think they'll love it. It is by Kendra Scott. Kendra Scott is your destination for holiday gifting with presents for everyone on your list. And you should know the Kendra Scott holiday collection is full of beautiful pieces across fashion, demi-fine, and fine jewelry that are ready to shop. And you can also design your very own custom jewelry piece through their color bar, both in stores and online. I will be wearing my holiday cross throughout the holidays. I just feel like this brand is warm, inviting, nostalgic, friendly. It's always fun to get their yellow box, and it's very, very cute for the holidays. You can make the season fabulous with Kendra Scott. Go on their site. You can't go wrong. They have tennis bracelets, tennis necklaces, and like I said, my favorite cross. Visit kendrascott.com/gifts to start shopping. That's kendrascott.com/gifts. I have such a hack for you guys, okay? I have a coffee brand that is coffee plus benefits. That's right. Everyday Dose is coffee plus benefits. They combine high quality coffee with powerful ingredients like lion's mane and chaga and collagen protein and nootropics to fuel your brain, boost your focus, and give you clean, sustained energy all day long. It's crazy. It tastes just like coffee without the downside. No crash, no jitters, just clean, sustained energy. I got to test this out when I was in New York City, and I noticed that during the show, I had more focus and I felt more productive. And it makes sense because if you're drinking coffee and it doesn't have the collagen protein or the nootropics or the functional mushrooms, it's not going to give you the same vibe. My gut and brain were very happy during this New York trip. So much so that I took it home and I tried it at home. I showed it to Michael. I'm very much about this because sometimes when you have coffee on an empty stomach, I don't like the way that my stomach feels. Like I'll feel bloated. But with this, you do not get this. Get 61% off your first Coffee Plus starter kit, a free A2 probiotic creamer with over $100 in free gifts by going to everydaydose.com/skinny or entering skinny at checkout. That's everydaydose.com/skinny for 61% off your first order. Everyday Dose is also available at your local Target. Check it out. DM me. Let me know what you guys think. That is everydaydose.com/skinny. This episode is brought to you by Woo More Play. I am all about having fun by yourself or in the bedroom. I think it's so important to relationships, a one-night stand, and even just having time with yourself. And let me tell you about the best damn vibrator on the planet. I love this vibrator. It's the only vibrator I will use. I use it alone or during sex, and it is by Woo More Play. They also have coconut love oil. You can start with a massage and things can go down south and you will be good to go because you can eat it, lick it, suck it, fuck it. It is the best lube. It's the only lube that I personally will use because it's organic, non-toxic, and not filled with a bunch of shitty ingredients. It also tastes like a cupcake, okay? Vibrators and coconut lube, everyone wants it in their stocking. If you need to get woo in a hurry, drop by Fascinations or go to fascinations.net to buy online and pick up in store. And get your favorite non-toxic Woo More Play lube today. You can use code SKINNY30 for 30% off all Woo More Play items, both in store and online at Fascinations. I also think too, like, I really liked when I was like just engaged. Like I just liked that moment. And I think people just get engaged and they want to rush to the wedding.
No, but I mean,
like if I could give anyone advice, it's like there's no, you don't have to rush to the wedding. Like
we
I
stayed
feel
engaged for a while.
We were engaged for like 4 years.
You always get the dates wrong. We weren't engaged that long, but we were engaged.
I'm not like a datesy person.
But here's
it was a long time.
But honestly, and I think about like when you talk about divorce, practically from a business paperwork standpoint, to unravel if all the stuff that Lauren and I like in terms of like hold together and do together, like it would be such a spider web of a mess to do that. And I think that's what you're talking about. It's like
I would also throw a match in the spider web. So there, yes, it would be a spider web.
You would find me laying in a ditch somewhere.
Oh yeah.
No, that's too easy.
But I know what you're saying. You've had a lot of success. It sounds like he's had a lot of success. You have children. You've been married before. The paperwork does make things complicated. And if you don't, you have to even pre-do all that stuff. So it's just I hear what you're saying.
And I'm not saying that we won't. I didn't cross that off yet, but it's a question that I ask a lot. And I think they are the right question. I think it's a question that everyone should be asking themselves before they get married because, or at least if you are going to do the paperwork, be very clear about like how it's going to even unravel. And I think that is maturing, is like realizing that shit can happen. Things can happen. It doesn't mean that you love a person less. It doesn't mean that you devalue the relationship. It's just maturing of realizing that you never know. And so you have to have these conversations. What I love about my relationship with Sebastian is that I could bring up any subject, anything, and not feel judged whatsoever. I could feel like I could ask him the questions that are deeply like in the deepest, darkest part of my brain. And I think it's just honesty at this point. And so we do talk about that, right? As like, okay, do we really need this? And if we do, then how is that going to look like? And if it doesn't work out, then how would that work out? How would that look like? And so I think it's just becoming smarter and not being afraid to have those hard conversations.
That would feel hard to be judged if you said something in a relationship. I mean, that you are right. That's so refreshing for you to be able to say whatever you want and not feel judged.
Yeah.
That's how it should be. You should be able to say whatever you want.
Yeah. I even take him to like, this is TMI, but I take him to like my skincare clinic places. Usually that's like my thing and I don't like want any guys around me. But he like knows, he sees everything. And yeah, it's just nice that I could show that side of me.
Yeah. You could be yourself.
Yeah.
It's really that simple
too. He took care of me when I got like some surgeries and all that fun stuff. So
what's the surgeries? You got to tell us what the surgeries were.
We love the juice, right?
Yeah.
So I recently went through a period. It was last winter where I was like, I need to get all my fillers dissolved. So I got all of my fillers dissolved.
Does it hurt? I heard it hurts.
It hurts because they're like, they have to like, massage it.
I never have looked at you and thought you were overfilled. Did you feel like you were overfilled?
So there was a point so I was, just for some context, I was getting very small amounts of fillers for over 10 years, but very small amounts. So every year I would kind of upkeep it, right? But at one point, I think it was maybe 3 years ago, I woke up and I was like, God, like, why do I look so puffy? Not puffy as in like I look just so filled up, but why do I look like I ate too much like salted food like the night before? I would wake up looking like that every single day. And I'm like, oh, I was in denial for so long, right? I was like, oh, maybe it's like what I'm eating. Maybe I have to drink more water. Maybe I have to get more sleep. But it was the fillers that moved essentially. And so I went to my derm. I go to this girl named Cindy at Bliss Point. It's kind of like it's a nice clinic, but it's not that many people know about it. But I went there because it was highly recommended to me. The first thing she said to me was, we need to dissolve everything. And so I was like,
so overwhelming.
Okay, let's go. So it took, luckily because I didn't have that much, it only took one session. I know some people, they have to go back to multiple sessions, but she dissolved everything. And the one thing that I noticed and realized that I forgot about was I had this massive fat pad underneath this eye that I've been filling up that I forgot about. So it was kind of like this piece of fat that stood out, and it looked really hollow underneath because of that fat pad. And so when I noticed that, I was like, oh, shit, like I need to get fillers again. So I called Cindy and I was like, hey, can I just the left eye, can I just get that filler? She's like, that's way too much filler. Like the amount of filler that you had under there just to cover up that fat pad was not okay. She's like, what you need to do is go get the underbleff. Like you need to get that shit taken out or smooth it out, right?
And an underbleff is when they pull the under eye up.
So I didn't get a full on underbleff because yes, that is essentially like, I don't know the exact term, but they do pull it out. But it's more so what I needed was I needed them to go inside and smooth out the fat.
Ooh, that sounds painful. Was that painful?
No, because I was asleep.
But when you woke up, was it painful?
No. And I'll show you like a before and after.
You look beautiful.
Thank you. But this was last year. So it's been a year. It was the best decision I've made. And honestly, I was like, I never needed fillers. I never needed that. And not saying that I regret it because of course we learn in hindsight. But I think the eye adjusts and you're just like, oh, I need a little bit more. And you just forget how you look and who you are. And so I haven't touched it since, and not saying I'm against it. I'm not saying I will never get it again, but as of now, I'm very happy with the result and how I look, and I'm thinking more longevity wise, like things that I could do that will help me keep up my, vitality and beauty over time versus having to upkeep it like every single month. Like
I don't know much about this subject, but Dr. Terry DeBro was here the other day, and he was saying that like that's one of the things people make a mistake with. It's like the filler over long periods of time, little by little, and then all of a sudden one day you're just like, it's all there, right? And you got to figure it out.
Like, where's it going? I don't know.
Yeah, because I think, and especially now, because people are doing this younger and younger, and they're not thinking like you got like another 60, 70 years of your life. Like you gotta have a long-term strategy.
Yeah, you have to.
I also think this is really weird, but if you do filler and you don't do facial manipulation, like if you're, let's say you're going to do it, like you're like, I want it in my jaw, I want it in my chin, I want it in my temple, wherever you want it, you have to do facial manipulation because
what is facial manipulation?
Like facial massage.
Oh, okay,
but I'm talking about like deep facial massage, like lymphatic with deep, with the buckle, with all of it.
Yeah.
Because this is my own, by the way, this is Lauren science. I think that you have to like help it like go through your system. Does that make sense? If it just sits there and no one ever touches it, I feel like it would get lumpy.
Yeah, it does get lumpy.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think facial massage,
that, like, no one really talks about or teaches you. Yeah. So I don't know. So that was the surgery I was talking about.
Well, you look great.
Thank you.
Before you go, you have to tell us about the sale of your company and like where you are right now.
Yeah. So PHLUR, we recently got acquired. I think it's been about 3 months now. And it's been a really exciting journey. When I came on board to relaunch PHLUR and take over PHLUR 4 years ago, I wouldn't have imagined that we would really be kind of pioneering and redefining this fragrance category for this new generation. And that's been really exciting just because fragrance is so different now than how our parents or how even we were applying fragrances back then. It's really about, it's an expression now. And PHLUR really became that for people. We launched with Missing Person, which was, it's our hit scent. We have multiple, but that is our biggest scent. And it was really through my story of loss and pain and feeling lonely and missing myself, missing a person, missing feeling loved. And back then, no one ever would buy a scent without smelling it first. So we weren't at a Sephora at the time. Missing Person launched D2C. And not only did we sell out, but we had a wait list of 250,000 people for a scent that no one has ever smelled before.
How did you guys get that? Was that all through your following?
So
That's
no,
insane.
so it went beyond. So how I view fragrance and how we view PHLUR is that it all kind of starts with me with the mic. Like I have the mic and I'm telling my story and what this represents and what the story is. But what's beautiful about PHLUR is that we pass the mic to other people and then they share it. And so what happened with Missing Person was I shared my story of heartbreak and loneliness and just craving love and to be loved. And then all of a sudden, the next person would film something of spraying Missing Person, and they would literally start crying because it brought so much emotion. It's a very, it's a scent that brings a lot of nostalgia and memories back. And so it was 1 to 1,000 to hundreds of thousands of people just sharing stories of what this scent reminded them of.
It's great marketing.
Yeah.
Smart.
And
it's also like there's depth there.
yeah. And it wasn't, we clearly didn't know that it was going to be such a hit because we were sold out for 6 months and we couldn't get inventory of it. But it's a beautiful skin musk scent. It becomes your skin. It's yummy. It's delicious. But it's you at the end of the day. You said that you're very, very sensitive.
Very
to scent.
sensitive.
I was actually with another, do you know Dr. Nigma?
Dr. Enigma.
Nigma. I might be saying her name wrong, but she's this very popular doctor, and she's like, I cannot wear a scent. And she's like, I have all the scents out there, all of the most expensive scents. They're just on my van. And she's like, the only scent I can use every single day is Missing Person.
That's really interesting because ask my husband, like I cannot stand certain scents, like to the point where like I can't even have it in my house.
Yeah.
If I get in an Uber and there's Old Spice, I'll die. But when I just went to hug you, the first thing I noticed about you, which is so interesting, was your scent. And I was like, what is that? And it didn't bother me at all.
Oh,
Why?
thank God.
Why? It's like, it smells clean.
Yes.
And you were wearing cherry.
I was wearing cherry stem, or I am wearing cherry stem. But
Okay.
I'm also wearing a mixture of a lot of different things. But what you're probably smelling is cherry stem because that was the last thing I smelled. But that is the beauty of PHLUR. And I love that you said that because a lot of our scents, it's typically a little bit lighter than the scents out there. And, some people might have issues with that because they're looking for something that is very heady and strong, but we're not that brand. We're a brand that you could layer, you could mix, you could make it your own. It's playful, but it's not in your face. And it's still you.
Something about heady and strong that I have to say, I hate to break it to everyone. It's really hard when something's heady and strong and you're projecting your scent onto the person.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel
It's like
with,
when someone walks by and they're 5 feet away and it hits you in the face. Like, that's too
when
much.
it's too much scent. What I like is it's like the way you smelled is almost like there was like a mysteriousness.
That was the best compliment.
Yeah, it wasn't like, it's not like, I didn't feel like you were trying to come in with the scent and it was like all over you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
A lot of our scents, the dry down is musky, so it becomes your skin. And I think that is kind of the PHLUR formula. And every formula is a little bit different. But if you look at our notes, a lot of them have either like a skin musk at the base, or a little bit of a light sandalwood. It dries down to become you. So the top note is like what's bright and what brings you in. But once it settles, you're like, oh, you smell like you, but with a little cherry on top or something added. And that is kind of the PHLUR formula.
It's beautiful. We're going to do code skinny for 15% off. You go to PHLUR.com. That's PHLUR.com. I personally am going to go buy the cherry stem. I love how it smells.
Oh, thank you.
You guys check out Missing Person too, it sounds like. And we'll do a giveaway. I guess if you follow at PHLUR on Instagram and tell us your favorite part of this episode on my latest post at Lauren Bostic, Chriselle will send you all her favorites.
Yay.
That's a good one, like a little goodie bag.
I love that. Yeah. I have a lot of favorites. So there will be a lot coming.
Oh, do you hear that?
I can't have one favorite child, right?
Nope. Well, it depends on the day.
Sometimes, yeah, depends.
Tell us where everyone can say hi and find you and support everything you're doing.
You could find me on Instagram and TikTok at Chriselle Lim, ChriselleLim, and of course on PHLUR, PHLUR.
The next time you come on, I feel like it'll be in like 3 years or something, and then we'll have like another story to tell.
Oh my goodness.
Because you're always evolving.
We have to do this like
yes. At least
like
every 2 years.
Bi-yearly or
something
like
yes.
that. Thank you guys.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Chriselle.
Thank you.